There we go.
There we go. Am I
Ready?
there?
Ready, yes.
I got the biggest kick out of telling everybody when I was leaving today, I'm sorry I have to go to Colorado now. I'll see you guys later. So my congregation is eating potluck as we speak. Yeah, so I took off from there to come here, but I'm so glad to be with you guys. And yes, since the last time I saw you, I got revved up, as we like to call it, as though I needed to be revved up more than I already was, you know. And you guys sent me this fantastic card. If any of you didn't know you did this, thank you so much. I love it. And it says, success comes to those who pounce on it and kill it. I love that. And of course, we know we mean kill it, like do it, do it, do it, you know, get it. So thank you. Thank you for wishing me well in my ordination. And yeah, you know, as Deb was saying, you know, my ordination path has been a long and winding road. And if I had been ordained the first time I tried to complete the path to it, let's see, I would have been a minister for 10 years now, 9 years now, something like that. But every time I went to step up to move from licensed unity teacher to ordained minister, let's see, my daughter shattered her leg. My husband went through a massive heart attack. Another time he went through quadruple bypass. So every time the deadlines were nearing, life was going, no, I don't think it's now. Nope, don't think it's now, not right now. And it's you know, we say this all the time, and hindsight being 2020, but this is the perfect timing for this to have finally happened in my life. And it's been one of the biggest examples of, you know, we make our plans and the divine says, yeah, this or something better, or, you know, yeah, maybe in a year, maybe in a while. And it has been such a, like I say, a long and winding road and a beautiful journey to bring me to where I am talking to you today, sitting in Central Florida. But today I want you might need to breathe with me. I don't know how your congregation feels about things that people call political, but I will definitely meander today into territory that you may feel is political. I can only begin by saying that I do not mean to be political as far as things have gotten political these days. Everything, you know, there's so many things that are human rights issues that people now call political issues. There are things happening in this world that we have put into these little boxes that I think are not in such little defined spaces. And yesterday was the 4th of July, and it's the 250th year celebration of the Declaration of Independence. And yes, that's about government. And oh my gosh, it's about so much more. And it's such a declaration for us of something so much larger. In unity, we believe, a disclaimer's over, and you'll go with me or you won't. I don't know. Maybe you know, we'll see where we go. But I hope you can hold an expansive vision with me in the things that we're going to use today in our spiritual exploration, because like I say, the Declaration of Independence is one of those to me. Can you imagine the bravery? Can you imagine the commitment, the larger vision to declare independence from Great Britain in the time that this happened? On July 4th, this Declaration of Independence, it was signed by 57 people. Well, it was signed on July 2nd. It wasn't signed by everybody until there's 57 signatures on it. And it took until August 2nd to get all of the signatures. So there's an interesting way, the way we look at something as a done deal and don't always get to appreciate the journey that it took to get there, much like my ordination. This declaration was adopted on July 4th, but the British government didn't accept it. They dismissed it. So the fight continued until the colonists defeated Great Britain in 1783. So there was this grand declaration of independence. 7 more years it took to actually have that independence recognized and declared. I don't know about you guys, but my life journey shows up like that all the time. I make these grand declarations. From this point forward, I am going to be independent. Or from this point forward, I am going to show up lovingly, no matter what anybody does to me. Or from this point forward, whatever it is, I swear I'm going to be loving. And then somebody cuts me off in traffic on the way to Publix, and then somebody, or whatever grocery store you might have there, and then somebody steps on my feelings, or somebody seemingly takes something away from me. All of these things, when we make these grand declarations, sometimes it takes us a long time to realize the wholeness of that declaration. So though this Declaration of Independence was a political thing, it represented a spirit so much bigger than that, a claiming of a larger vision of life, and a claiming of freedom. There's 3 parts to this Declaration of Independence. There's the preamble, there's the list of grievances. Don't you wish sometimes you could just send out a little bit of a list of grievances to the universe to have them addressed and fixed by some sort of declaration you might make? I know I do, but I always laugh. I'm like, okay, so there's 27 grievances in the Declaration of Independence, which I think is a funny thing too. Not 28, like not 26. Did it not fit on the paper? Like, did they, what made them get to the point where they were like, yep, it's these 27. This is what we want addressed, and this is what we are making this declaration around. Now, if you haven't read it in a while, it's not even a long read. In terms of where we find ourselves politically today and in turmoil and with divisions seeming so pronounced, I highly recommend you take a few minutes and read it. Read the grievances. They say often that those who don't remember history are doomed to repeat it. And I encourage you to breathe if and when you read these grievances, and because so many of them may feel like this is happening today. And so it's an interesting dance we do, knowing that it's all happening in God. See, again, for me, everything is spiritual. People can divide it into political lanes or something, or be Republicrats or Demlicans, whatever you want to do, that's up to you. But I find it all so much larger and so fascinating if we can keep that larger view, if we can look at things realizing, look, this is all happening within God. And so if something is coming up that feels like a grievance, if something is coming up that feels like it needs addressing, or that I need to declare my independence from, I need to take a closer look and see where my relationship is in my interdependence. That's today's daily word, interdependence. Where are we interdependent? And God is one of those places. We're a part of Godness. And so may all of the things we do, whether they term them government, or whether it's relating to somebody standing in line in the grocery store or sitting in the waiting room in a doctor's office, may we realize our interdependence, and may we have thoughts and take actions that support the allness of Godness. For me, that's going to be my homework assignment for this week. I'm going to take a good look this week at what I am declaring independence from, pardon me, and what I am, by my actions, by my deeds, by the things that happen in my day, what am I declaring dependence on or in? Because we've got those things. I heard it twice this morning when I was walking through our congregation. Two different people in two different places said something to the effect of, "Oh, if I didn't have my coffee this morning, I wouldn't have been able to drive my car and get here." So they are declaring their, I mean, I wouldn't have been able to operate machinery this morning if I didn't have my coffee. Declaring dependence to coffee, right? We don't necessarily think of it that way, but there's a larger call in everything we do. We can make it smaller and say it's political or say it's this or said, but it's all this development of our spirit. I wanted to share with you the preamble to the Declaration of Independence. Like I said, it's not that long of a read, but boy, breathe with me through this and listen to and for the spirit with which these people claimed their new reality. When this document happened and when this conflict was over and when independence was declared, this document specifically established a new framework for democratic governance that inspired revolutions worldwide, including the French Revolution. The Declaration of Independence directly and indirectly led to the French Revolution. So we are lights, we are signposts, we are beacons for others, that when we make conscious declarations, knowing that we're inside of God, it changes things in the whole world. Here's what they said in the preamble to the Declaration of Independence, which, by the way, it has never been changed, or, the Declaration of Independence has never been changed. They then made the Constitution, and then they made the 10 amendments to the Constitution that constituted the Bill of Rights. So this document, the Declaration of Independence, has not been changed. What came after it has gone through wordsmithing. It's been revisited, and there have been amendments made to it 27 times. Where in our lives can we make amendments to what we're declaring and what our independence means to us? It says, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's something we could declare for ourselves every single day. Then we got to follow it up with our actions. Then we got to follow it up with the thoughts that we hold. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. The government is here for us, run by us, allowed by us. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. That goes back to that, the devil we know kind of thing. And they are basically telling us that people are willing to suffer to such degrees with the comfort of the discomfort, or with what they're used to, than with then going ahead and declaring something new. There's an opportunity for us in here to take that bigger message and to say, where in our lives, We're this union, and we are all individuals, independent individuals who are creating our lives by the things we are choosing to claim every single day of our lives. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. So what is our government? What are we being governed by? There's the government of the country. Call it what you will, do the statement about it what you will, do about it what you will, vote or don't vote, make your decisions as to where you're going with what's happening around you, and realize our individual independence. You know, we say we're declaring independence. Well, we're inside of God. So can we declare our independence in that godness? Can we declare that? And I don't mean dependence like, oh my gosh, I need God because I can't do anything on my own. You're made of God stuff. You're made of it. And so when you are declaring your independence, you are declaring loudly that that godness lives inside of you, and that what you are in dependence to is the light and love and source energy within you that is showing you the way to declare independence of the dramas of the world and realize that there is a larger message happening underneath. Realize that everything that shows up does that with purpose, that does that giving us an opportunity to learn and grow, does that giving us the opportunity to say, I've wanted to do this for a long time, but I've never thought I could, or I've went, these people, you know, I think it's a funny dynamic too, that they declared independence. Okay, I'm going to be all independent and we're going to stand up on our own, but they did it with a group. We do that too, right? I'm so independent. Do you think the same way that I do? Because I would like other people to go with me on this journey, right? So there's, we're so independent. And at the same time, we are tribal. We're tribal beings, and we need the love and the support and the understanding of those on this journey with us. The bigger in is that we are inside God. So we're creating inside God those things that we would like to see. Want freedom? You got to claim it. And then you've got to do something about it. It took 7 years to get one document recognized and supported enough so that it could stand on its own and create a new country for 13 colonies that are now 50 states, that will be more in the future. So we're always going to go along just like that, the amendments to the Constitution. We're going to keep amending our internal Constitution in our lives because it's going to change things for us. This past week, I had the great honor and the giddy gift of marrying two 81-year-old members of my congregation. Both of them widower. Both of them had a point in life of thinking, okay, well, what now? Both of them trying to declare a life. And Deb, it was Joe and Lynn. You know Joe and Lynn, for our door guy, Joe and Lynn. They're joyous. They're giddy. And it was this top secret thing nobody could know. So all week we've been dancing around trying not to say it. And then we got them married on Thursday, and then they announced it this morning in our service. There it is. We make these declarations, right? They're not saying they're dependent on one another. They are two beautiful, independent souls that decided to join together for a common cause and a common comfort and support, and something that brings them forward in brand new ways at the age of 81. Let's do that, right? Let's take every single day, check in with life, see how's it going. Is this what I want to make? Is this what I want to happen in front of me? Am I feeling lonely? Well, are there things I could do about it? Am I feeling stuck? Are there things I could do about it? I can shift and change and make a new declaration of independence anytime I want. And I want to close with this. So I love, 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 love pennies. I have this thing where I find them. I was actually in Colorado one time with my late husband, and we stopped just on a random side of the road along the highway in Colorado Springs, I think we were in. And we got out and we went walking off the side of the highway, and there was this little brook just moving by the side of the highway in the random middle of nowhere. And we stepped off the side of the brook, and I walked in, looked down, and we stood there for a few minutes, and I was thinking about how beautiful it was. And I found a penny in this random brook in the middle of nowhere on the middle of the week when other people were working and going about their business. And I just happened to be in this unique space. And I have loved pennies for many reasons, for the luck that they symbolize, for all that. My son and I, when he was little, we would go and put pennies outside of grocery stores and make sure we turned them tails or heads up, because people get weird about finding a penny upside down, but I don't know why. But we would put them heads up, and we would make sure they were heads up in random places near the door so that people could find them, so they would feel lucky. My son wanted to do that at the age of 8. He decided it was something that we needed to do. So, but on those pennies are the words, "In God we trust." And some people are like, oh, separation of church and state. You're not supposed to have government, and you're not supposed to have God and government. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about that. See, "In God we trust" first appeared on the 2-penny coin, the 2-cent coin, in 1864. During the Civil War, people were feeling a little lost with simply the government. They wanted something to back up their faith and to say that there's more than just us and this war and this governance. There's something bigger at work here, and it's God. Now, we don't call that God in a religious way. We know it is the power within the universe, the animating force that is all things. And so, but religious groups went to the government seeking recognition during the turmoil of the war. Secretary Salmon P. Chase approved the phrase, "In God we trust," and it first appeared in 1864 on the 2-cent coin. Fast forward, in 1956, in the Cold War, yet again. So that was the only thing that it appeared on, was coins. And in 1956, people were driven by the anti-communist sentiment of the area. Congress passed a law requiring the phrase, "In God we trust," on all money in 1957. They wanted to set the United States apart, knowing that it recognizes a higher authority than government. And they wanted to make sure that many remembered that that authority is God. We know it gets even bigger than that we're inside of God, that we're creating inside of God. I know you guys are in a different location than I saw you in last time. I know that you're probably going to be in a different location the next time I see you. And I know that it's probably the call on your congregational heart. Ain't it about time for us to get our own space, where nobody can push us around and tell us what to do and make us pack and unpack our things? Is it time for us as a congregation, as our tribe, to declare our space and to have it show up and appear and be found, and to know that we belong there, and that is where we begin and we plant our roots? I think your time is coming. I can feel it for you guys, and I am here with you. And if there's anything I can do to help that movement happen or to help you along with it, I see you finding home. And I love that for you. And I can't wait to see where that declaration leads. And I hope I get to be in it with you. Thank you so much for having me today. And I hope to see and speak with you again. Love you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great rest of today.